Creative Katie here. Today I want to talk a little bit about your art journal. Now, most of the time when I've done my art journal, I've done it in a Canson mixed media. I've either gone with the the 12 by 9 by 12, or the 7 by 10 one and stuff. You've also seen me working on some canvases. Now, those are all things that you can purchase. Now, what if you don't want to purchase, or what if you're just starting out? So one of the things that you can do is repurpose something that you already have in your stash. Now, this is a book that I've had for several years, and it's been partially used, and it actually has, and if I can zoom in here, signatures, and it's stitched. Now, the paper isn't lightweight, it's not as heavy as mixed media paper, but it has different signatures here. Now you can see, hopefully you can see the string that's there, that's stitched. And it's a nice smooth paper. I figured I have nothing to lose. I attempted to try one page. Now, in order to prepare this book, I could just start and, like I did here, I gessoed it to see how well it stood up to product that I might use, molding paste, and I was rather happy with it. So now I want to prepare this for an art journal. Now, if I leave everything in there, what's going to happen over time, because there will be some dimension to my art journals and it's going to warp, this will break the spine. And you can take off the spine and put on something else, make a different cover. I prefer not to do that. So what I'm going to do to prepare this is I'm finding the signatures. Now, a signature is kind of like a mini book that's in there. Now you can see how this, if I took this whole thing out, that would be called a signature. So the book is made up of various signatures that are then stitched in. Now, if I rip one page out of this, what's going to happen is the other half is also going to fall out. So to prevent that and to kind of plan ahead, I'm just simply going to take out one page. This was a folded page. Now I've ripped this. I'm taking this out, and that leaves 4 pages in that signature. So I'm thinking that might be enough. Sometimes I might take a whole signature out, and that's going to be for the good of the entire book. So I'm just going to work my way through. Now, hang on. So that's that one. There's the next signature. You can see I've found where it's at. And I'm going to find where the thread is. That's the center of each signature. And I'm going to take this out. Now you decide, based on your style, how much of each signature you want to take out. So for example, I'm going to take this whole signature out because I don't want my journal to get too bulky. Oops, there we go. Okay, so that one's all out. So the next signature, I'm just going to take one. So, and you're only going to know if you're right There's the next one. Now I already have this in here. Oh, there we go. Just a medium one. I'm going to take this out. Now these papers, I'm not going to throw them away. I can stamp on them. I could jelly print on this paper. I can reuse this paper for other purposes. So I think the next signature I'm going to take the whole one out again. Now there are lots of videos of people that are far more knowledgeable in this than me. There's the last of this signature. And just clean this up. I'm just going to take out two of these. There's the signature. Find the thread page. And moving right along. Now here's the whole signature. There's the thread page. So you're just reducing the bulk that you will be adding in when you journal. Okay, so this book has, it says 159 pages, so half of that, 80 pages, and I'm going to count these and come back to you. So all in all, out of the 80 pages that there was, 80 double-sided pages, I took out about 30, so a little less than half. And again, I'm going to repurpose this, recycle it, jelly print on it, do something else on it. So it's not going to waste. So when it comes to journaling on this, what a good idea, or the advice I got when I was asking around, because lots of people had done it before me, is people started, you do one in the front and you do one in the back, and that way your book doesn't end up overly warped one way or the other. Because if you start at the front, it's going to put some pressure on the spine. Now, in order to prepare this for art journaling, and I'm just going to do this quickly, you do need to get some gesso to prepare it. Now, what the gesso is going to allow you to do is use a lot of variety of mediums on it. It's going to make the page stand up. It's also going to make the page take your product better. It will help it stand up to any wet medium that you're putting on. If you're using watercolor or glues, it's just going to make it work a lot better. So now, that being said, you do not have to go out and buy, Liquitex or Golden. I got nothing against Liquitex or Golden. Great products. But for the purpose of this initial and what we're using it for, you can probably get away with using a art supply store brand like Dick Blick's. I am using Curry's, which is an art store in Canada. I'm using their gesso. I really like it. And it was very, very inexpensive. I did try making my own gesso and modeling paste. I did not like working with it, so you will not see those recipes on my channel, even though people want that. That's not a place that I'm going to attempt to save money. So I'm just adding this layer of gesso on here. And what I might do some days when you don't feel particularly, you want to be in the studio but you don't know what to do, I just gesso a few pages. So I just white it out. Now the goal isn't necessarily to get rid of all the print. Now some of these have darker pictures, so it's going to be more of a challenge. Some have more text. What I just want to do is really push it back, because I know that I'm going to put some layers on here. I might collage on here. I'm going to add paint. So on the like. Now I think on this side, this page, I'm pretty good at, you know, just one layer is going to do enough. You can still see a little bit of the print, but it's nothing that I am minding. Now when you're drawing, just a quick tip, once this is fairly dry to the touch, I like to go to the back side. It's quite damp, and give this a dry. And once that's dry, I'm going to go on and do the next page and the next page. And I can do several in one sitting. I would probably do a few pages in the front and then a few pages in the back. So, old agendas, old planners work great for this. The paper tends to be a little bit thicker, a little bit more substantial, and that's kind of what you want. So before I sign off, I'm just going to show you another altered book. This one I just bought at the thrift store, and it's almost like tag paper, and it was stitched, which is why I got it. So I did exactly the same thing. I pulled out some of the pages, you know, roughly 30% of the pages. And so here I've been working on this, you know, doing various things, and, you know, as I said, I start at the front, so I have some in the front, in there, and then some from the back. And you can see that it's, you know, the spine here has stayed fairly straight. Now the benefit, if you've got pictures that you like, some people, when they are working on that, will incorporate the pictures or some of the words into their art journal page. It's not something that I've done yet, but definitely can. So here you see I've got this already gessoed and ready to go. So I hope you give this a try. I find that when I work in this, I'm a little bit freer. I'm not worried that I've spent money on it, and I just allow my creativity to flow. So Altered Books, give it a try. Check out the thrift stores. You can usually pick these up for $1 or $2. Check out your bookshelf. You probably have some books on there that you can, with very little effort, turn into your next art journal. Thanks for watching. Bye.